All right, buddy. What was done when you were gone was we learned to use the quadratic formula. Quadratic formula is a way, much like factoring is a way that we studied together, and completing the square is a way that we studied together to solve a quadratic equation. The quadratic formula, and here's a song that goes with it, is x is equal to negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. And in standard form of a quadratic, you get a from the leading coefficient, b from the coefficient on the just the x to the first power term, and c from the constant. Alright, so let me show you one down here. And there are 4 down here with answers on the next page. There's answers if you print these off on the reteach for this. Alright, but here's how this works. And I'll show you a couple. I'll send this to you. You can print this off, use it for notes, and then try the homework. Alright, so in this form where the quadratic equation is in standard form on the left side and it's set equal to 0, you're set up to find your roots. The a value is in front of this x squared term, which is 1, the b value in front of the x, which is 2, and the c value is negative 35. Alright, now if I plug this in, this is x is equal to negative b, right? This formula right here, and so negative b is negative 2 in this case, plus or minus the square root of, put this in parentheses, put your b in parentheses, so it's 2 squared minus 4 times a, which is 1, and b, which is negative 35. Alright, all over 2a, which is 1. So if I did that, alright, let's just do one more step here. I'd have negative 2 plus or minus the square root of 4, and then it is negative 4 times 1, which is negative 4, times negative 35, which gives me a positive 140 all over 2. Alright, and if I do that, I've got this. I've got, and I'll do a couple steps. So let's put one over here. We'll say x is equal to negative 2 plus or minus the square root of 144. That's 4 plus 140 over 2. Then I've got x is equal to negative 2 plus or minus 12 over 2. And then I'm going to show you how to reduce something here. You could do the top and bottom, right? But since both these reduce by 2, you could say x equals negative 1 plus or minus 6. And that's just dividing both these terms by that 2 in the denominator. And negative 1 plus 6 is 5. Negative 1 minus 6 is negative 7. And this may not have like the best use of space, but there is every step that you need. So I'm going to use this position out here, and we'll go one more time. Hopefully we'll get something that doesn't have a perfect square, because those are actually a little easier to handle. Alright, so we do it again. We make sure everything's set up equal to 0. If not, I would bring everything to the left side and put it in standard form. And I've got a is equal to 3, b is equal to 7, and c is equal to 2. Alright, and I plug in my b here, which is negative 7. I plug in my b here again, which is now 7 squared, minus 4ac all over 2a. Alright, and let's start working at it. I'm going to bring it over here. X is equal to negative 7 plus or minus the square root. 7 squared is 49. There's a key here. If this is ever negative, that square is going to turn it positive no matter what. So this first number in the radical will always be positive. And this says minus 3 times 4. That's 12 times 2, 24. Minus 24 all over 6. I've got negative 7 plus or minus the square root of, well, that's a nice one. It's 25 all over 6. It's a little bit different now because I'm going to get something that's not divisible by the same number. So I'm going to get negative 7 plus or minus the square root of 25 is 5 over 6. So I got two answers, and I'm going to list them out here. I've got x equals negative 7 plus 5 divided by 6, which is going to give me, oh, let's see, negative 2, negative 1/3. Circle that whole thing there. I'm going to get x equals negative 7 minus 5 all over 6, which is going to give me negative 2. Circle that whole thing. Alright, Raveline, I'm going to work you through one more. Alright. Now, 4 has 2, negative 9, and 5. So A equals 2, B equals negative 9, C equals negative 5. Alright. Now, x is equal to negative b, which is negative 9, plus or minus the square root of negative 9 squared, because that's what b is, minus 4 times 2 times negative 5. There's my c, all over 2 times 2. So let's bring it up here. X is equal to negative 9 is 9, plus or minus the square root of 81. Negative 8 times negative 5 is plus 40, all over 4. And then I've got 9 plus or minus the square root of 121, all over 4. Now, Ravelino, all these have worked out really nice because they've come up with perfect squares here. Sometimes they won't. And if you get something that isn't a perfect square here, reduce if you can, but if not, circle it. So I'm going to show you. Right now I'm going to pretend this isn't a perfect square, although it is. If this was, say, red 17, if this was red 14, all you would do is circle this and be done. Alright, so this one can, of course, continue. Alright, so I'm going to actually put the answers down here. This would be x equals 9 plus 11 divided by 4, right, because this is 11, which should give me 5. Circle that. Then we get x equals 9 minus 11 divided by 4, which would give me negative 1/2. Now, here's what I want you to do. Alright. There is a bookwork assignment for everybody in 22.3. Alright. I would like you to get the answers for these problems. I'm going to give you a little bit different work than I gave everybody else. I would like you to get the answers for 1 and 2. Alright, just do the quadratic formula, alright, and let me know what you get. Okay, and then I would like you to get the answers for 9, 10, 11, and 12 using the exact method I demonstrated here. This is under the reteach. This is the reteach for what you have. Alright, so if you log into your book, you can print this reteach off of your student section in 22.3. So this should give you what you need to get going. You really didn't miss a whole lot on Wednesday. It was reducing radicals. We can talk about that. But this is probably something you should practice before you come in. I'm going to send this video to you. I'm going to give you a link. And I hope you're feeling better, buddy, and I'll see you on Monday.